Okay, let's say you want to remove sound of the, like this one, or you. What kind of video is this? So you can hear, obviously you can hear sound. If you like to get rid of this sound, drag this video file to media encoder. So in case you don't want to use this Premiere Pro, use the that media encoder and drag it to this window under the queue, and then check the H.264. This is the right codec under the format. You should choose H.264. And the next one is match source high bit rate. The last one, you need to click on alpha, select the right on the directory that you like to save this new video clip to. I select this with desktop, and then here's click on this H.264, and the output name is OU_1. And do you see this two checkboxes? Export video and export audio. You can uncheck this one. That's it. The problem is you cannot cut your video in media encoder. If you like to cut your video clip, then you have to use a Premiere. So if you like just to remove the sound only, you can uncheck this export audio, and then click OK. And finally, you click this step 2 on my desktop. So look at this. This one has no sound, okay, no audio anymore. The video clip that we like to use for this lesson is this one, Marco, no sound. Okay, no sound. All right, this is After Effects. All right, don't get overwhelmed with this totally new interface. It looks so different from Photoshop and Illustrator. Okay. And the very first thing you need to do is you need to import your video clip into After Effects, as we did, and with Animate. So I'm going to import this. You can drag this one to this project window, or you go to File and Import File. And then I'm going to go to Desktop, select not this one. So I need to select this one, Macro, no sound, and then this. And then let's just double check the dimension of this video: 626 by 360 pixel, and the duration is 4 seconds. Okay, I want you to pay attention. I want you to notice that this one is only unusually actually lower frame rate. This is only 10 frames per second, 10 frames per second. So let's go to, okay, anyway, this is called the project window, and this is a stage. This is a stage. Do you remember stage that we used in Animate, whatever Animate? And then here's the timeline, okay? So the major, primarily is a window at After Effects can be actually broken down. Actually, 3. So it's a project window. You can save your video clip in a 2, and this is a stage, and this is a timeline, and we have a bunch of other tabs on the right, but you can ignore those things. So project, timeline, and stage. Okay, we haven't actually dragged this to in the timeline yet. So before this, I want you to go to composition, and you will see new composition. You can also just click on this icon too, new composition. So we don't call stage, we don't call screen, we don't call documents, but we call composition instead. So you can click this, or you can go to composition, new composition, and you can rename this one or just leave it. And what about your preset? Is this the right one? No. We're going to select which one. And we have also here HDV. This is the right one. And also this is the right one too. I'm going to select this one and 25. Say HDV, HD TV 1280 by 720, and the frame rate 25. Yeah, don't worry, this is 25. But you can change this one 10. Why 10? Because the original video clip has 10. The original video has a 24. You should have 24. The original video has a 60. You should have 60. Unless you want to change the frame rate, for whatever reasons. So we need to type here 10, and the resolution 10, and background color you can ignore that, and the duration. This is 30 seconds. So we are making 5 to 15, 5 to 10 seconds. It's not going to make it 30 seconds long in Rotoscope animation. I'm going to type 10 instead of 30. Okay, this is something that you should do. Okay, let's double check everything here. So on the basic tab, we have width 1280 pixel and height 720 pixel, and frame rate 10, resolution 4, and the duration 10. Although we are making 5, so even if you're making 5, like 6, 7 seconds long animation, you can just have a couple more seconds, some extra seconds for this project. You can always cut that out to make the exact 5 seconds or exact 6 seconds. So now I'm going to click OK. This is a 1280 and the 720 pixels. Okay. So now drag this macro video clip to your timeline, and you have this one. Why this is so small? Because this is only 6 to 7 pixels in the width. So how to change this in a scale? So let's go to your timeline. Don't drag something like this. You already lost the proportion. Okay. So instead of do manually, is go to your timeline and hit S. What is S? Scale S, and change that scale. Okay. Keep the proportion. Okay. This is right one. All right. You don't have to really worry about this numbers of 208, 208. But what's important here, okay, don't have this kind of empty space. Okay, don't have this kind of empty space, and change the scale so that it fits, this 1280 by 720 pixel, window. Okay. So now let's play this. It's just like that. It's really, choppy. A little. This is kind of a little old. The reason why this one is only 10 frames per second, probably I changed that the original frame rate, from whatever number, 20 or 30, whatever, to 10 frames per second. Or probably I think because this is all the video footage, all the footage, 1980s, more than 30 years, 40 years, a little choppy. As compared to the modern, video, footages, the contemporary video footage is choppier. Yeah, definitely choppier. So after this, so we are doing the first method. It's more labor intensive, time consuming, very repetitive. So this is a video clip I just imported. The first thing you need to do, highlight this, and then duplicate this. How to duplicate this? Command D. Say Command D like that. You can duplicate it. So and after duplicating this, you may temporarily lock this one, or you can rename this like this. Return, and let's type this. This one is original, okay? And then you can lock this one. And this is original, and I created 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 layers. For instance, maybe you can imagine what I'm gonna. You can imagine what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do his shirt, blue shirts first. So let's go the layers right above the original footage. I'm gonna hit return, and let's type this one shirt. Okay, and then. Okay, look right here. So, yeah, these are After Effects tools, very humble. Only a few, tools. The Photoshop, Illustrator, those InDesign have 42, 50 or 60, tools. But in After Effects, we have only dozen, tools. That's it. The primary tools that you will utilize, for this project will be that pen tool, I guess. Pen tool mostly. I don't think you're going to use this that much brush tool. Well, yeah, you can use this brush tool, and you can use this eraser tool, but most likely you guys are going to use this pen tool and this selection tool. Pen tool, selection tool, pen tool, and brush and eraser, and that's it. I already changed the rename this layer as in a shirt. So you understand, I am going to trace around his shirt right here, right? So before doing this, before drawing this, okay, let me hide all of this. And okay. Are you all familiar with the pen tools? We use pen tool a lot, and especially in Illustrator, Adobe Illustrator. Tucker, are you familiar with the pen tool? Yeah. Colin? All right. Pen tool is, so as I told you, this will be your better friends, for the second project. Pen tool is very important. So if you click and hold it, you should see, the other, option. Pen tool, add vertex tool, add point. Vertex means point. Add point tool, or delete point tool, and this is convert point tool and mask feather tool. But I don't think this is that important, but I think first 1, 2, 3, 4 are quite important on this project. So with the pen tool, I already select this pen tool, so you can draw line like this, right? If you like to close the shape, you can close this. Why those edges are so choppy? Is there any way we can make a more rounded form? You can use the convert vertex tool. See what I'm doing? I'm going to click this one, and then you can make it like this. So look right here, angular, right? You like to achieve more rounded edges. Use this, like this. Does that make sense? What tool I'm using? That's convert vertex tool. You see what I'm doing? See, look at that. So what if you like to drag this anchor point? You should use the selection tool. See, look at this. You have to drag it like this, and then you can adjust the curves. So look at this. You can drag it like this. So you like to achieve more rounded shape, you should use this convert anchor point tool. Look at this. Yeah, too angular, use this convert anchor point tool, and like this. And you want to move this anchor point, don't use this, use this selection tool. You can go like this. So what if you like to add additional points, vertices in between this anchor and this anchor? You can use this, add anchor point tool, add point tool. So let me add another anchor. You see? After this, selection tool. Say look at this. Like that. So you change your mind. You want to delete this anchor point. Okay, so select this, delete anchor point, and then click on this. You want to delete this, delete this. You want to delete this, you want to delete this. You want to delete this, delete this. Add anchor point 2, and delete anchor point 2, and convert anchor point. Well, we check all this for. Yeah. So you can do like this, but from the beginning. So you want to achieve some nice curve instead of that. What you can do, see what I'm doing. I'm going to draw this kind of curve. See what I'm doing? Look at this. So click and add anchor point. And I am drawing this kind of curve, okay? Nice curve. I already created this anchor point and go to somewhere on the right-hand side. Click and hold it. Do not release mouse. And then make it like this. You see? And then combine this. And then you have a nice curve. Okay, one more time. Pen tool. I'm going to click, add anchor point, and then go to the other side and hold it and then draw. Once it's done, you can combine it by clicking this or select the selection tool. Now we have a curve here. So, or you can do pen tool, and you should see this one, Loader Bazaar. What if we activate this one? After selecting this pen tool, so I'm gonna, by default, this is unchecked, right? If you like to work with the Loader Bazaar, after selecting with this pen tool, so now activate this one. You see, we no longer see angular curve. So let's say you want to draw. So you want to draw line around the, say, around his shirt. So if you uncheck this Loader Bazaar, this is what you get. So look at this. You know, of course you can make like this. You know, of course you can, yeah, of course you can make like this. But what if you use this one, Loader Bazaar? So look at this. You see? Look at this. You see? Yeah, much easier. Your job gonna be much easier to do like that. You know, of course you can adjust the other things. Small things, can zoom in and click this, can relocate it. So you can change that one to something like this, something like this, something like this. So you need some groove here, so you can always go to add anchor point 2 and add a new anchor point. And you can still modify, so it's you do like this. So remember the one that we just learned is this one, Loader Bazaar. All right, from here, okay, let's work on that in the shirt. Okay, I selected this shirt. Okay, I selected shirt. And then this is very important. You need to open. Click this arrow to open, transform, and audio. Right? And then let me grab the pen tool. And let me quickly, yeah, I'll quickly show. As soon as you draw, okay, as soon as you drew, I traced around this, his shirt. And what do you see? Do you see something else after beside the transform and audio? You must see mask. This is called mask. So if you build this mask, you will see the name of a masker, called like a mask 1. So this is called mask. What other things we have here on the transform? You should see anchor point and the position scale and rotation opacity. And on the audio, we don't have to really worry about this audio because this one is silent in the video. So this masker, and then you build this one. Okay, as soon as you draw any kind of form for pants, top, head, neck, hands, the socks, and feet, you will see mask. Every time you draw some shape, you should see. So if you select this one, like for instance, you say, pants, and you trace around his pants, and you will see mask under here. So currently, we don't see mask because we didn't draw anything on this pants layer. We drew only this one in a shape on the shirts. Okay, we're gonna talk about the pants later. So this is mask. And what do we see? We see some different options here. Path, mask path, feather, opacity, and expansion. So let's see what it does. Feather will do like this. So some of you guys might be interested in this effect. Do you see? This is kind of feather effect. Feather effect. And what about the mask opacity? You see? That's mask opacity. And the mask expansion, like that. Okay. I don't think we're all gonna use this feather and opacity expansion that often. I don't think everyone really need all this, but this is something that everyone must use. Mask path. This is something you should use. You must use. So make sure that your playhead is at 0 in the beginning, pass in the beginning, not here, not here, in the beginning, and then click this stopwatch icon. This one, do you see this? Yeah, this is called keyframe. So you create a bunch of the hundred keyframe while creating our first project in Adobe Animate. So this is keyframe. This is on After Effects in the keyframe. So as soon as I click on this stopwatch, After Effects will add new keyframe. This is something that you should do. Do we think we need to create this keyframe on every single frame? No, I don't think so. So we just create. Let's call this one initial. Okay, initial keyframe. We created this initial keyframe at the beginning of this video. If you uncheck, so if you remove this one, if you like to remove this one, you can uncheck this one. See, now you don't see in a keyframe. You like to create a keyframe? Yeah, you need to click this mask path. This is something you need to do. So let me move to let me zoom in this. A lot different, right? A lot, it's aligned. Yeah, alignment. See, look at this, aligned. I'm gonna go not just 1 second. I'm gonna go 2 seconds so that you can see clearly the difference. See, I'm gonna go 2 seconds, and then watch out there. What I like to do now, I like to change this one. Click first. Okay, remember, so far we have created only one keyframe, which is called initial keyframe. The very first keyframe right here. That's it. We don't have any other keyframe. We have only one keyframe. We are about creating the second keyframe. Where? On here. Do you think we can add the additional keyframe in between 1 second and 2 seconds later? Yes. Don't worry. So what I like to do, I like to show you how to add additional keyframe. Do you think we need to click on it? No, don't click this one. If you like to add a new keyframe, you can click this one. So now we have 2 keyframes right here. But you don't have to actually click on this icon to add additional keyframe. See what I'm doing? So I click this, and you should see, just a bunch of white boxes around it. So you don't have to worry about it. So you're not going to change the scale, something like you're not going to rotate something like this. So what you should care about is that. You see those anchor points around the outline, around the edges, and you grab that. See, do you see what I'm doing here? See, as soon as you change something, After Effects will create new keyframe automatically. See, automatically right here. I didn't click on this icon to create the second keyframe. After Effects created new keyframe. See, although this is only 2 keyframes, now you should see animation. This is an animation. So if you like to keep modifying this, don't forget to select the second keyframe, and then you should see this is wrong. We kind of included face, right? So I'm going to click on this. Oh. So if you move something like this, this animation will definitely jump like this. This is wrong. Don't move like this. Don't move like this. But click on anchor point. Let me zoom in. Yeah, these are anchor point. These are anchor point. You need to click anchor point and then modify form like this. So modify form like this. You should modify form like this. So look at this. So you should modify. So click. Yeah, that's very important. You have to click. Not like this. Yeah, not like this. You have to click anchor point and then modify like this. Okay, see only the two keyframes. Now you should see some animation here. So you can keep modifying. So you can keep modifying. Yeah, it looks like we have to include that. All right, so now I'm gonna go to, let's skip that frame 3, and I'm gonna go to frame 4. Yeah, see, a lot of changes, and then you can see, look at this. I didn't create my third keyframe. So far we have 2 keyframe. Then I'm gonna go to frame 4. Click. Don't grab this. Okay, don't even touch this. Okay, and grab this and change the shape like this. Yeah, you feel like you don't have enough actual number of points. Okay, you can always add more points, more vertices. So, like for instance, let's say you want to add an additional one. Let me see. Let's say you want to add an additional one. Let's go pen tool and add about vertex 2. See, you can add additional one. So look at this. I can add more. Yeah, you can add more like this. So they can more easily modify this font like this. Same thing. If you like to delete any of those anchor points, you can delete. See? So look at this. I have 1, 2, 3 in a keyframe. 1, 2, 3 keyframe. Yeah. If you like to make this animation smoother, you need to go to, like for instance, I'm gonna go to frame 2 where we don't have, we did not actually create any keyframe. Just go there and click and modify something like this. See? Something like this. See? Okay. So play. So 1, 2, 3, 4 keyframes. So you can add another keyframe in between frame 2 and frame 4. Look at this. This is what I have now. Okay. Yeah, it's quite choppy. So you can add more keyframe. Definitely you can add more keyframe in between. Look at this, the frame 2 and frame 4. This is not exactly like a second. So let me zoom out a little bit. So look at this. These are all. Do you see F after the number? This means frames. So 4 frames, 6 frame, 8 frame. So this is looks like 1 second. 10 frames equal to 1 second. Why? Because this is 10 frames per second. You can do the same thing for like a pants. Okay, pants. I'm gonna show this. What you need to do after highlighting this, you can hide it. Shirts, pants, pen tool. All right. So I traced around this pants, and then don't forget to go to mask, and then you need to click this mask path. Make sure that your playhead is at 0, at 1, at the beginning, and then don't forget to click on mask path, and it will create new keyframe. And then I'm gonna go to like frame 4, right? And I click this, and then modify. Yeah, modify like this. So yeah, I think that's his die. Okay, we can bring this down like this. Yep, like this. Okay, I made only two frames. Look at this, in between the first and second keyframe. See? So if you show both, and I'm gonna hide my original video. Yeah, sometimes you can show you the original video, something like this, or sometimes you just close it out. You can work back and forth. Say you can do something here. So like this. Yeah. So same thing. We have this new keyframe. Should click this. Can you imagine? It requires a lot of working time. Yeah. So let me show my video. Okay, now I understand how to trace around the shirts, how to trace around the pants and the thighs, legs, and the arms and face and hair. Well, we understand. But how to add color? How to add color? So let me hide all other things. How to add color? You need to go to effects and presets right here on the right. Effect and preset. Or you go to effects right here. So first of all, you have to select your layers, then go to effect, and then you'll find a bunch of effects. The one, in order to add some color on the shirts, you need to find the fill. All right, you can easily find this fill. Looks like the fill is on the generate. So you can also go to effect. So after selecting this, your layer, and go to effect and generate, and find the fill right here, fill. Same thing. So all you need to do is drag this one to your layer here or here. I'm going to drop it on the shirt. So why do you see red? Because this is kind of default color. You can always go to effect controls window next to the project window, and simply click on this color picker and change the whatever color that you desire. So I'm going to go to something bluish color like this. So this is the kind of fill color. Same thing, if you like to add some light color, this pants, select a pants, okay, go effect preset, and then drag this fill to in a pants. And then I used to see no color because yeah, it's I show pants, and I change this color to some light color, I guess. That's now. And now you should see two effects. The first one that we applied was in a fill. The second one is in a noise. And what if I increase that one? As you should see, I'm going to uncheck this use color noise so that I can have a monotone. You see? And then there must be some interesting filter that you might want to try, the fractal noise. So anyway, you should you select your layers and go to effect. And like for instance, go to style line. Yeah, there's a bunch of differences. Okay, we just used trace the shirt and the pants by using this pen tool. What if you use another one? So let me select the shape layer. You can find the shape layers in here, layers new and the shape layers. So instead of using this pen tool, let's use the layers new and shape layer. Do you think you can do something? Yes, you can definitely do that. You can definitely do that. This is shape layer. So instead of using this directly apply this pen tool and trace around the shirts, I created shape layers, and then in the view, they trace the around the edges of the shirts. Okay, what's different than this? This is content. Yeah, so go to contents. We have contents and transform, and you will see shape instead of mask. But you still see path right here. See the path, and the click initial keyframe. Yeah, we do the same thing. The rest doing exactly the same thing. See, now I'm gonna grab this. Okay, now rather than moving this, and I'm gonna modify. See, I'm gonna modify like this. Okay, remember, we started with the shape layers, and I'm gonna go like this. Why is color is like this? You can always change the colors. Say because the default color is red, I'm gonna select some the bluish color here. All right. The reason why some of you might curious about using the shape layer this instead of just the. Anyway, you must do the pen tool. But the difference between the first one and the second one is that we use the pen tool right immediately to trace the shirts and pants. But for this, we create a shape layer first, and then we trace around it. Here's a shirts and pants afterwards. So here's the path. So now, say you can add additional. Say, look at this. What I'm doing here is, say you can do something like this, you can do like this, something like this. Now we have to say through keyframes. Okay. So after that, so you should see stroke around here. Do you see stroke around here? If you don't use, remember, if you don't use shape layers, you cannot get this stroke. So here's the stroke right under your path. The color, of course, you can change the color. Say something like this. See, look at this. I can choose some red, and then also you can have the thickness, something like that. Yeah, it's kind of overpowering. You can reduce the path a little bit. So here's about other options. Here's the dashes and the tapers. Yeah, several different options. So look at this. The taper. I think quite interesting. Stroke and fill. We'll check this fill. So okay, so far we checked the very similar method. The first method we used the this pen tool directly, and the second method we created the shape layer and then used the pen tool. Okay, this is original video. This time we're not going to use this pen tool. Maybe we need this pen tool a little later. We're not going to use this. We're not going to use this shape layer, but we're going to do something else. All right, this is original video. I'm going to duplicate this, Command D, and then rename this. Shot. Okay, make sure that your playhead is at 0 in the beginning. Okay, so I'm going to hide my original video a little while. The second method that I like to show you was to utilize this Loto brush. Loader brush. There are only two menus. Loader brush tool, and then you can use the refine. You can refine. So when sometimes we get it really choppy, rough edges around your the characters, the clothes, bodies. Use this refine edge tool to smooth them out. So this is a loader brush tool, and this is original video. I hide it, and then I only select this loader brush tool. What you can do, be careful here. Watch out, loader brush tool, and this is a shirt. And then you can always duplicate this, and then this might be pants, right? Just pants. And I'm gonna do shirts first. Here, shirts, and this is original video, and this is pants. So you go to shirt, because I like to trace around this shirt, and select this one, and double click, and then you should work on here, layers. What about this one? This is document composition. So when you double click on this, it will take you layer window. This is different, composition window, layer window. This is something radically different from the pen tool and the layer style. So when you use this loader brush tool, you need to double click on each layer shirt and then work with shirt. And then once done, you're gonna work with work for the pants, and you double click pants and go to layer. Layer window is different from composition window. So when you work with the loader brush tool, you must work in layers window. Okay, double click shirts, and this layer shirts. If you double click this pants, you should see layer pants like this. So layer head, layer in arms, layer thigh, layer legs, and layer socks, sneakers. So here's I'm gonna double click shirts, and then I'm gonna slightly zoom in and move this. And do you see like a green in a circle calling? Do you see that? That's a rotoscope brush. You can make it bigger, you can make it small. Hold down Command key, Command, and make it bigger, make it smaller. So your job is very simple now. What you can do, trace around his blue shirts with whatever size. See, look at this, what I'm doing. Do you see? Automatically select that. So we need to include this part, right? Almost done. Do you see some mistake here? This active included neck. So you should not select his neck and face, right? So then you need to hold down Option key. What do you see? Now it's a red circle instead of green, right? And this is a tool that you can get rid of this. Nearly done, almost perfect. But those choppy edges can be fixed with this refine edge tool later. So with this, for this, and this is a shirt, and you should go to Effect. And now you should see loader brush refine edge instead of path. We work with the path. So now we don't see path, but we see a loader brush refine edge instead. So now we've expanded this bunch of options. So I want you to explore all these options. There are some cool options. What you need to do here, you need to go to his version. We have older version, and this is a newer version. I heard that they recently actually developed a new version, which is 3.0, that is even cooler than this 2.0, but who cares right now? So quality standard, and we have what is it, inverted. These are not that important, and a lot of brush made, and use motion blur. Yeah, you're interested in motion blur? Yeah, you can turn it on. And here's a stroke. Let me see the stroke in the background. You see, after once you start using this a lot of brush, the After Effects will record every single the action that you made. Here's the background. Look at this. Now you see path here, but you don't have to create any keyframe. Yeah, you don't have to worry about the keyframe with this loader brush. So if you go to stroke options, see, look at this, all kind of the stroke options and transform. So it's like foreground and background and the composition options, lots of options. See, look at this, loader brush matte here. Yeah, loader brush. So let me zoom in this. Yeah, it's pretty jagged edges. You can change that. You can fix that one by using this one feather. Let me zoom in. Do you see this? Do you see this? You can find that feather option on the loader brush matte. So you can change that one. If you feel like this, do a little too choppy. And you can change the contrast and the shift edges and reduce the shadow count. So I found this is quite useful, feather. And you can make a smoother, cleaner, neater, edges. Or later on, you can also refine an edge too. So remember, feather is under loader brush, refine edges, and then go to loader brush matte. You can increase and decrease like this. So also, I want you to notice that the loader brush has a bunch of the button here. You can sometimes you can just use this toggle alpha and see only what you have. Sometimes you click on toggle alpha boundary. Right. Sometimes it's probably easier to the area that you selected. Otherwise, you can turn it off and go here. And then same thing. So you might wonder how to add color. Yeah, you can do fill. So go to Effect and the presets, and I'm going to type in and fill. And I'm going to drag this one too, right here, shut. Okay, drag this fill, shut right here. Red, yeah, these are kind of typical default colors. I can select these, some popular color right here. And the reason why we see, the blue in the shots only, we don't see other things because of the view is fill. You can choose the loader brush, refine edges to see other things. And also you can create toggle in outer boundary. Let's see that. So now, so we are working in a layer window. So if you go back to a composition window, you should see this. See, let me play this. We didn't create it. We didn't create any keyframe, no keyframe at all. Do you see that? So let me see. Let's open the original one. Okay, this is what I have. So remember, we traced the history shot only once, and we didn't create any keyframe. But Rotoscope, loader in a brush will take care of the rest of them. Do you see that? So what if it's some part that you're not very happy? You can always double click on the shots, okay, and then go to specific, like here. Yeah, obviously here's some it's error, right? So you need to include this part too. So and you need to select the loader brush. Let's say you want to get rid of this part. So hold down, Option, and then you move it. And you want to include this part. Yes. Does that make sense? And you see, you want to exclude this part and make it a little small, and then hold down Option and exclude this. Make sense? So go here. See, remember, so we're not dealing with any keyframes. And I'm going to exclude this part. See, you can find this. See, you can find this. Oh, actually, we need to include this. And then you can exclude this. You can exclude this. You see? Also, as I told you earlier, so if you like to achieve the cleaner line, use this one, Refine Edge tool, and then draw around the edges. You'll definitely, yeah, kind of a little ugly here, but you'll definitely get the smoother edges. So let's go back to composition. Do you see? Kind of a little bloody, yeah. I think this might be good, a Refine Edge tool, but I think I like this one better. See, let's go to Effect, loader brush, Refine Edges, and do you remember loader brush method? And I like this one better. Yeah, use this. So what about pants? Pants. So I'm going to select pants. Back to the beginning. And what I like to do, I like to double click on this. All right. Layer, not competition, layer, and pants, and the loader scope, loader brush. Okay, and the draw. Yeah, nearly perfect, right? Nearly perfect. And then I like to include here. Yeah. So there's an error. So okay, Option, remove that. So here is a lot of problems. Look at this. You need to keep fixing this stuff. Yeah, you need to get rid of this. And then you need to include this part. Okay, you need to get rid of this. Something like that. So you have to fix these, and then once you're happy with this, fill, select this fill, and drag it to pants, and the change color, something bright. With composition. So it is. Yeah, it looks like he's almost screaming. You may, in this case, you may include his mouse. You can create a new layers for his mouse, shouting, screaming, and if I would separate, his neck, from his face. I would also separate his hair, from his face. So the face, like for instance, face. Double click on this. Yeah, the reason why, so image is so pixelated, it's just smaller than 1280 by 720 and old Full HD. So if you use the good quality of video, you won't see the choppy and pixelated one. Let me do again layers, and you go that's, and then make a little small. Yeah. See, like a face. See, I already include the neck here. See, neck here. So neck here. So anyway, so this is face, and then I'm gonna drag this fill to face and change the color and go to composition window